This is the first of section 1.5 in the microeconomics high level IB syllabus, and in this video I will explain the difference between the long run and the short run in the context of production and costs. So we know that firms take the four factors of production, which are land, labor, capital, and enterprise, and they combine these factors of production to produce goods and services. So the factors of production are the inputs, and the goods and services are the output. Now, it would make more sense that in order to increase production, the solution is to add more factors of production. However, this is not always possible. It might be because the factors of production take time in order to find or to employ. It might be that the firm can't afford the cost of employing extra factors of production, or it might be the availability, maybe the factors of production, whether it's land or labor or capital, maybe they're just not available. So it's not always possible to add factors of production when you want to increase production. And this is where we have the distinction of the short run versus the long run. So in the context of production, the short run is the period of time in which at least one factor of production is fixed. One of your factors of production, whether it's land, capital, labor, or enterprise, is fixed. You cannot increase that in order to increase production. Now, all production takes place in the short run. And because of this, in the short run, we have fixed costs as well as variable costs. The long run, on the other hand, this is the period of time in which all factors of production are variable. You can actually change all of your factors of production. All planning within a business takes place in a long run, and because of the fact that all factors of production are variable in the long run, all costs are also variable. So the short run, at least one factor of production is fixed. All production takes place in the short run, and you have fixed costs as well as variable costs. In the long run, all factors are variable. All planning takes place in the long run, and in the long run, all costs are also variable. So, a question I get asked a lot in class is how long is the short run? What is the length of the short run? Well, it varies from one industry to another. If, for example, there is an industry, for example, a baker, for a baker to increase the number of ovens that they have in their bakery, this might take a couple of weeks or a month at the most. But for a nuclear power plant, a plant that produces electricity from nuclear energy, it might take years to install new nuclear generators, for example. So the short run will differ from one industry to another depending on how long it will take for all factors of production to be variable or to be changed. Another question I get asked a lot in class is, well, how long does the long run last for? So once your fixed factors are changed, are you in the long run forever? Well, no, actually, because once you change all of your fixed factors, you just enter into a new short run. So the long run is really a series of short runs. Think of the long run as one short run after another. And this is why I said earlier, firms plan in the long run. All of their planning is always in the long run, but they produce. The actual act of producing always happens in the short run, because in the short run, you will always have at least one factor of production that is fixed.